If you're anything like me, one of your favorite things to do after watching a really good movie is to go online and see what you can learn about the cast or the making of the movie to kind of keep that world alive in your mind for just a little while longer. Wicked for Good was one of those types of movie for me. I really loved how it truly felt like I was watching 1939's The Wizard of Oz from another perspective. Having no prior knowledge of the Broadway show meant that I was genuinely surprised when certain characters became Dorothy's famous companions. More than that, it had me imagining how many of my other favorite movies would look if they were filmed from another character's perspective. I'm pretty sure that I'm far from the first to suggest that in the eyes of Home Alone's Harry and Marv, Kevin McAllister is nothing more than a psychopath who systematically tortured them over and over again. Well, anyways, to keep the world of Oz alive in my mind for that much longer, I predictably began to scour the internet for anything and everything that could make me feel like I was in Oz again. At first, the things I found were lighthearted and funny. But in the ever-enduring words of Katara,
Everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
before long, I too inevitably fell down the same rabbit hole that I'm sure you took a tumble down as well. Between YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, it became impossible to avoid all the videos and comments raising concerns about Ariana Grande, Cynthia Erivo, and to a certain degree Michelle Yeoh. To be more specific, a lot of concerns were raised about their seemingly erratic behavior during the press tour.
If you had to describe each other's aura, what color would it be?
That's a nice question. An aura.
Yellow.
For me?
Sunshine. Yeah.
Ah, thank you.
And like also, I think there's also purple.
That was very good. It's so.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
no, go on.
Not purple. Not the color purple.
No, I don't mind it.
Did I just say that Cynthia Erivo's aura was
No,
purple?
no, no. But I think it's quite lovely, though.
Okay.
I think that's right.
Alright.
I see like a ciel blue. You know, like
Thank
aqua.
you. Wow,
And
I'm
like
so moved by that response.
so specific.
This
isn't
is
it?
so-
Sorry, it's very specific. And like sunset orange.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
What do you see in us?
Thank you.
That was such
We
a
love that.
We've
That's
never
so-
been asked
We've
that.
never been asked that question.
That's
That's a
incredible.
great question to ask. Thank you for that.
Yours is pink.
It's lovely. Yeah, it is, isn't it? It is
is.
actually.
It
Like
is.
are you singing like magenta or like?
Yes, and
yes.
then it kind of vacillates.
vacillate,
and
yeah.
it like it ombres to
That's
light
right.
pink.
Yeah, that's good.
We love you very
That's
much.
Just as many, if not more, concerns were raised about how exhausted and fragile the women in question looked. To be more direct, they looked emaciated.
These before and after photos from the Wicked cast actually frightened me, and I feel like this needs to be a larger conversation that we're having. All three of the stars, the women stars of Wicked, have lost a lot of weight. A lot. They look emaciated, okay?
So the Wicked cast is going viral for how skinny they are, and it is quite alarming given that we can see the bones protruding from the skin. And many of them, you can literally see the rib cage.
For any brave souls that dared to venture into the comment section of these videos, things didn't get any better. Some made jokes, some were genuinely concerned, and others still were worried about how this would impact society as a whole, and even more specifically, young girls who might look up to the cast of Wicked. If I were to put myself in the shoes of the cast for a second though, I could only imagine how frustrated I'd be with people making jokes about my life when they don't know a fraction of the story. And I can't help but think of all the times we've gotten it wrong in the past. It wasn't too long ago that we speculated that Chadwick Boseman's weight loss was for a movie role, only for him to tragically lose his life to colon cancer. It also wasn't that long ago that we accused Bruce Willis of phoning it in for his latest movies, only to find out that he is suffering from dementia. With this in mind, there are many who feel as though we have no right to comment on the transformation of the actresses from the Wicked cast. Ariana herself took to TikTok to address the speculation and concerns.
Hi everyone. I just wanted to address your concerns about my body and talk a little bit about what it means to be paid such close attention to. I think we could be I think we should be gentler and less comfortable commenting on people's bodies, no matter what. If you think you're saying something good or well-intentioned, whatever it is, healthy, unhealthy, big, small, this, that, sexy, not sexy, I don't, we just shouldn't, we should really work towards not doing that as much. But I just also wanted to say, one, there are many different kinds of beautiful. There are many different ways to look healthy and beautiful. I know personally for me, the body that you've been comparing my current body to was the unhealthiest version of my body. I was on a lot of antidepressants and drinking on them and eating poorly, and at the lowest point of my life when I looked the way you consider my healthy. The second thing is you never know what someone is going through. So even if you are coming from a loving place and a caring place, that person probably is working on it or has a support system that they are working on it with, and you never know. So be gentle with each other and with yourselves.
To be clear, I agree with Ariana's sentiments. There are, in fact, many different kinds of beautiful. And what may appear to be healthy on the surface might actually be sickly on the inside. It's very easy and even cowardly to hide behind a keyboard while ridiculing the brave men and women who have dared to step foot into the demanding arena of celebrity. We think that we can get away with saying just about anything about them, and they'll simply wipe those tears away with $100 bills. The reality could not be further from the truth. And perhaps it's long overdue for us to become less comfortable hopping online and commenting on anybody's body, period. Ariana, Cynthia, and Michelle do in fact have the right to look however they choose to. Respectfully, however, I do think that this current video still needs to be made, because it wasn't just one of the leading ladies who looked drastically different than normal. If it were to, perhaps we could maybe chalk it up to a coincidence. But when all three lead actresses appear emaciated at the same time, that's a pattern. It's the pattern itself that we are calling into question, not the women. And if we don't call the pattern into question, then what's to stop it from spreading in the unhealthiest of ways and becoming the norm? What's to stop it from rearing its ugly head on a Marvel set or a Star Wars set next? It's better to identify the issue at the root as quickly as possible, rather than pluck at the leaves and hope the tree dies. In the case of Wicked in particular, we have no choice but to speculate that either one of two things could be the cause of the pattern in question. Either the working conditions on set were so grueling and exhaustive that it led to the sudden weight loss from a lack of sleep and proper diet, or there was a conscious decision made for the lead actresses to appear as thin as they do. I guess it could also be a combination of the two, so maybe one of three possibilities. Well, upon looking through what felt like hours of behind-the-scene footage, it became abundantly clear to me that although there were long workdays and semi-dangerous stunts here and there, the cast of Wicked had a blast filming the movie. Time and time again, they would go above and beyond what was required because they genuinely loved what they were doing and wanted to put out the best movie that they possibly could. Cynthia specifically requested to do her own stunts, which shows her commitment to her role.
I knew when I was going into this that stunts would be needed, and I knew that I wanted to do my own stunts. I wanted to do the work.
How can you hire an actor that does their own stunts, amazing acting, sings, and then can integrate all three of those things together and land it over and over and over and over again?
Her and Ariana even went the extra mile in demanding that they sing live for takes during filming. Even though actors and actresses typically lip sync when filming musicals so that they can focus on the millions of other things that they have to get right during the shoot. If the ladies didn't have a great working relationship with their director, John M. Chu, then they probably wouldn't have taken the time to send him flowers or constantly check in on him.
Cynthia will send me like flowers at home for no reason, and gifting is her love language for sure. And Ari would check in on me, like when everyone's worried about things and I'm worried about things, she would always check in on me. She's like, "Hey, are you okay?"
So unless I'm missing something, or there are more hidden secrets yet to be unearthed from filming, I think that we can safely conclude that the drastic changes in appearance weren't due to a hostile workplace environment. So that just leaves us with door number 2. A conscious decision was made for the actresses to appear as thin as they do. And if you're anything like me, a few questions are probably swirling around your mind as we speak. Whose idea was it for the ladies to appear so thin? Did their change in appearance add anything of substance to the movie? And lastly, why did Ariana, Cynthia, and Michelle agree to the changes in appearance in the first place?
We've never been asked that question.
That's incredible.
That's a great question to ask. Thank you for that.
If I got any of those questions right, please take a second to like and sub. Truly, your support helps me post videos just like this on a more consistent basis. Well, anyways, my working theory for those swirling questions is that in the world of massive productions like Wicked, the aesthetic trumps everything. When a studio invests hundreds of millions of dollars into a project, the actors and actresses are often treated less like human beings and more like high-value assets to be sculpted for the screen. The culture of such a workplace strongly implies that going the extra mile is a necessary sacrifice for the sake of art. It could very well be possible that the silence from management and production teams is a sign of not only approval of these dangerous methods, but also an admission of guilt. The saddest part of all of this is that not a single thing of substance was added to the movie by the drastic weight loss. If anything, I was more taken out of the movie whenever Glenda was on screen wearing dresses that revealed her protruding collarbones. I could somewhat understand if there was a narrative reason for the women to lose weight. I wouldn't condone it, but it would at least tie into the film at large. In a similar fashion, it was unhealthy when Christian Bale did it for his portrayal of Trevor in The Machinist. But it at least made sense narratively that Trevor's insomnia was so severe that his condition had taken its toll on his weight and his mental health. For Wicked, however, there was nothing plot-wise that could serve as the catalyst for the change in size. In a film with a predominantly young and female demographic, I think it sends the wrong message when all your leading ladies drop down to size 0 to embody strong characters on screen. When young women see their idols achieving a state of perfection through extreme emaciation, they don't see the medical teams, the pharmaceutical assistants, or the sheer physical exhaustion behind the scenes. They simply see skinny as a basic requirement for everyone of importance in the land of Oz. This in turn reinforces the devastating lie that a woman's value is inversely proportional to her size. There is, however, a growing consensus that suggests that the ultra skinny aesthetic isn't just a Wicked thing, but a Hollywood thing. Yes, you heard that right. Beautiful at every size is being thrown out with the bathwater in favor of visible rib cages and collarbones. I foolishly thought that Hollywood had learned the dangers of this ethos in the early 2000s. Model Kate Moss had popularized the damaging mantra that nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. And unfortunately, this sentiment became the unofficial slogan for an era that glorified women that appeared emaciated. What never gets mentioned enough, however, is the number of young talented women like Brazilian model Ana Carolina Reston who lost their lives in pursuit of this unattainable ideal. No man or woman should ever have to survive on a diet of apples and tomatoes to keep their career alive. Before things get too crazy again, I say we popularize a new mantra. Living tastes way better than skinny feels. Now, many of you who made it this far into the video have probably already left a comment or two about the role of Ozempic, Wegovy, and other GLP-1 medications in the revival of Hollywood's life-endangering mantra. And while we have no concrete evidence proving that these drugs played a role in the Wicked cast's weight loss, it's still no exaggeration to say that we stand at the dawn of a pharmaceutical arms race where everyone's goal is to get extremely thin, extremely fast. And to make matters worse, the industry has doubled down on getting this medication into consumers' hands with little to no hassle. Wegovy just announced a daily pill form of the medication, meaning no more weekly injections. Being skinny is now as easy as taking your morning vitamins.
This morning, the first GLP-1 oral medication hitting shelves nationwide. The Wegovy pill, made by pharmaceutical company Novo Nordisk, beginning the rollout today, the latest in the billion-dollar weight loss industry.
It's our opportunity to bring this new medicine to market in all channels all at once.
The prescription pill is to be taken daily on an empty stomach with a 30-minute window before eating, drinking, or taking any other medicine.
While Wegovy may be the first to market with a pill, you can bet your bottom dollar that all the other pharmaceutical companies will soon follow suit and produce their own variation of the GLP-1 golden goose. Pretty soon, anyone and everyone will be able to chemically silence their body's natural hunger signals to chase some impossible ideal established by Hollywood. What keeps me up at night is the long-term toll that extreme weight loss takes on the body. For women especially, this drastic level of restriction can absolutely wreck hormonal balance and in turn their reproductive health. An article from the National Library of Medicine claims that when a woman's body fat drops too low, the hypothalamus stops producing the hormones that signal the ovaries. In layman's terms, their bodies essentially activate an emergency shutoff of their reproductive system to save energy. At times, this trauma response can even be permanent. Again, you heard that right. These women are risking their reproductive health for a role in a movie. It's honestly terrifying that we are living in a time where people are willingly jeopardizing their chance to ever have a family just to fit into a costume for one movie. For anyone still on the fence, please hear me. No acting role has ever been or will ever be important enough to justify such a reckless gamble. And in case I haven't made it clear enough, I truly feel for these celebrities. I really do. The pressure they're under is something that most of us will never experience or understand. The scrutiny, the expectations, the way their entire career can hinge on looking right for a role. It's all genuinely brutal. But if you take nothing else away from this video, I need you to understand that under no circumstances should you ever emulate them. What they've portrayed to be the standard for beauty and power is nothing more than a performance. They've needlessly pushed their bodies to dangerous limits for a paycheck and public approval. In a poetic way, it's almost funny that this whole situation is the perfect example of life imitating art. Much like the great and powerful Oz, the image projected to the audience is often a carefully constructed illusion, a towering, untouchable facade designed to inspire awe and hide the fragile reality underneath. The wizard wasn't actually a giant all-powerful head of fire. He was just a man using a machine to look bigger than he was.
Do not arouse the wrath of the great and powerful Oz. You ungrateful creatures think yourselves lucky that I'm giving you audience tomorrow instead of 20 years from now. Oh, the great Oz has spoken. Oh. Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain. The great Oz has spoken.
Similarly, the petite figures that had us hooked for the 2 installments of the Wicked franchise aren't obtainable nor sustainable through normal means. They are the results of bodies manufactured to fit a standard dictated by Hollywood. We see a size 0 leading lady and automatically assume that it's a sign of power. But when you pull back the velvet curtain, you realize that it's just a series of unhealthy habits. So going forward, my desire for everyone who made it this far into this video is that you would understand that your worth is not defined by how much your collarbones show. As a matter of fact, according to scripture, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. The Emerald City they're trying to sell you is nothing more than a ghost town, and the wizard, in fact, does not have the answers you are looking for. You are actually enough exactly as you are. Well, if this video resonated with you in any way, please leave a comment below sharing your thoughts. I would love to hear your perspective on Hollywood's return to dangerous beauty standards. And if you think that this message needs to reach more people, liking and subscribing are 2 guaranteed ways to make that happen. You can also share this video with someone in your life who you know would benefit from watching it. With that being said, Please take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next one.